So around a few weeks ago, I made this post on my community tab, asking if anyone would want to see how I made, or rather how I textured these legs in Quixel Mixer. And I only got like 3 likes and 1 response, which was yes, which I can assume that this person also liked the post. So yeah, this is for the 3 people that wanted to see how I made this. It is not going to be like a full tutorial. I'm just going to break things down, you know, like step by step, like how I went from Blender to Quixel and things like that. And from there, yeah, I think you'll get the idea. I'll post a time-lapse video sometime in the near future where I show the entire creation process of the character, because I'm still using that character for like a study on making like video game characters. So trying to figure out like which softwares and whatever that I can use, and not just Blender only. So yeah, let's get into it. Let me just switch to Blender and show you the model. Yeah, so this is the model in Blender. The character's pretty much done. She's still missing a few things when it comes to like the modeling, and even with this whole cylinder tank thing that's behind her, like there's still things that I need to model, but that's besides the point. We're talking about the legs. So first thing I did was I baked textures, and this is how it looks finished, by the way, the legs. So I baked some textures here. Like I first baked the ambient occlusion, because Quixel I don't think has a native bake option in the software, so I think you have to bake things externally and then put them in Quixel. And after baking the AO map, I did the material ID, and this was to help me with making things easier when it comes to like applying separate materials to specific parts of the model. And the way I did this was through vertex painting certain parts and then baking all those vertex colors into a specific image, and then I exported the whole thing from this to the image. And also the legs themselves, I also had to export them into an FBX format, or any format that can be, I guess, read by the software. So yeah, this is the full model. Other parts still need to be textured as well. I'm getting to it slowly but surely. Anyway, like I said, this is more like I guess for educational purposes only. I don't necessarily have like plans for this character, plus they're not even mine. So yeah, just figuring out certain things about the pipeline. But yeah, let's jump into Quixel, and I'll start breaking down everything that I did in there. Okay, so here we are in Quixel, and here's the finished product, or the finished result rather. Now the first thing I remember starting with, I think, was this painted metal texture. I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, it's kind of like metal ceramic something. I don't know, but if you come to your local library, I think you can find it in your smart materials. That is basically the material that carried the whole, I guess, texturing process. Everything else was just, you know, adjusting certain properties. And oh yeah, here it is, metal ceramic, this material. All I had to do was come here on this layer. Let me go to the viewport, come to this layer, and change the albedo color. If I do that, you can see it changing in the viewport as well. Like I can make it red if I want to, or make it black, which originally it was black or a bit grayish. And also I had to adjust certain properties like the roughness and things like that, because if you look at the original concept in Blender, like this image here, these legs look pretty new, and there's not a lot of like surface imperfections on it. So I was trying to put some surface imperfections here and there, like some edge wear and things like that, but not go overboard with it, to show that these legs aren't really like that worn out, so there isn't really like that much wear and tear on them. So yeah, that's the first material that I used. And also I think this steel material here, if you go to your library, it's not a smart material, it's just a normal material, which I don't remember which one it was, but I mean, there's a lot of options here. Yeah, this is the one that I used. I used it as a base, and also I used it for some of the metallic looking areas, like this part here and this part here on the knee. And what I was doing here, like you can see these little, I guess you could call them like masks with colors on them. these were basically the material IDs. Like what I would do is like I'll throw in a layer. For example, let me do this real quick with like another material. Like let me just hide this one here, right? Then go to library, then go to smart material, and select this dirty yellow plastic, for example. Throw it in there. Now that the smart material is set up, what I would do from here is that I would go here to the material ID, and you can see all those colors that I had on my ID map, like here on the right side, or you can press Q and see which part on the mesh is actually using that material ID. So from there, like you could, let me just say Q and then select this, and it will only be applied on the red parts of the material ID, and this basically saved a lot of time. Like there's still some other parts that I had to adjust manually, like damage and the color itself. There's also, I don't remember where this part was, where you could also adjust the I guess the amount of scratches on like these hard edges, and you could adjust it with the curvature mask, which I'm having difficulty finding. But like, yeah, if you just look on the right side, like the far right, on the properties of Quixel, you will find it. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, which is that when you want to import your material IDs and your other big textures and whatever and whatnot, just go to setup and yeah, on edit textures. If you click this, it will basically show you a list of all the available textures that you have for your model that you can import into the scene. I only had 2 of them, and it shows it here, which were the material ID and the ambient occlusion. And that's pretty much it for the materials. I guess for one other thing that I had to do was, what's it called, the emission, which was pretty easy to do, because like I think you can just like add in a fill layer, but in this software I think it's called something different. Solid, yeah, it's a solid layer, and I just moved it up like this. And from here I can disable all these properties of the material that I don't need and only enable emission. Then from there change the color of the emission. So as you can see, it's kind of glowing blue. And I also used a material ID to apply it to specific areas. Like, let me get rid of this and show you the actual layer, which is this one. So I applied it on this area right here, and also this area here, this circular part, and even on this side as well, and even on this thing, on this part as well. Then from there, there's also like a matter of this, I guess, triangle bit that you see here, which was painted in. Like if you go here, I had to create a brush from my painting software of choice. I used Krita. So yeah, I just made a black and white image of this triangle, and you know, you can change its, what's it called, its properties also on this side, you know, whether you want it to be flat and not have any, I guess, bump information on the surface. You can use this option right here. But this part specifically, let me see if I can find it in Blender. Okay, so here's the part in Blender. It sort of like goes into the mesh itself. So yeah, I had to manually make that. Now back into Quixel, you can just select your brush right here and just paint it, and it will appear. And that's pretty much all it took. I mean, it was an easy process. Like I think you can even see here, I only have like what, 5 layers, and I exported it in 2K, which exporting in this is just as easy as selecting where you want your textures to go, and then like it will show you which images it will export, and then from there just click export to disk, and you'll find your textures in whichever destination you chose. And yeah, if I go to shading, these are all the textures that I used. I don't know if I like it this shiny though. I think it was okay when I did this to kind of reduce the glossiness. But yeah, since the textures are all like PBR, you can just plug them in onto your principal BSDF. I'm using Blender 3.6, if you know, you know. But yeah, this is a pretty straightforward process. You know, like there's other different materials here, like the rubber for the wheels and you know, things like that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the process. There's not really much to it. I mean, one thing I will say is, like, I know there are people out there who are gonna like compare Quixel Mixer to something like a Substance Painter, and I get it, like Quixel is not really like on the same level as Substance, I guess, but considering that it's a free software and it can do this much and it has all these resources available also for being a free software, I'd say it's worth trying out, even though it is lacking a few things, especially like with the painting options. Like, it's a shame that they stopped development on the software and just made it a free software like it is currently. But even though that is the case, considering its library of all these materials and imperfections and assets and things like that, it's not that bad, honestly. And if you don't have the money for Substance Painter, I'd actually advise you to give it a try, especially when it comes to like its user interface. Like, it's really easy to get the hang of. Like, everything is just there. Like, you just click on a layer and everything is just there. Like, it just shows you where everything is and boom, you're ready to go. So yeah, I'm still gonna continue working on this character. I'm still recording certain parts of the process. I forgot to record the making of the school uniform, but I did record the legs and the modeling and other certain parts. But yeah, other than that, I think that's everything that I needed to show for this process. And leave your thoughts and everything in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the video, or if maybe one day you'd want to see me work on like texturing in Quixel like step by step, which I mean, I don't know why you'd want to do that. Like, there's plenty of tutorials on YouTube from the Quixel Mixer channel. But anyway, that's it for this video. I mean, again, like I said, let me know what you thought of the video in the comments, and I'll see you, I guess, on the next one, maybe when I upload this character, or maybe I might do something else. But yeah, like I said, this character is basically for me to learn like the video game character creation pipeline, since I started learning game development. I'm trying to learn how to use other softwares for things like texturing and whatever else. So yeah, it's more like a future investment, I guess, in a sense. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.